Hi, my name's Mark Knowles. I'm 31 years old and originally from Rockhampton in Queensland. My profession is a hockey player. I've used hockey over the last 10 or 12 years as a bit of a profession, playing in Holland, in India, and with a coaching business here in Australia. I've been playing sport probably for about 27, 28 years. Ever since I could walk, I picked up a hockey stick, cricket bat, tennis racket, whatever I could get my hands on. I used to run around and play, and my parents used to hate it for a while, but I think they love it now. I love a huge range of sports. I really like playing a bit of golf. I love soccer. Manchester United is my team. Follow the cricket, basically anything I can. American sports, baseball and ice hockey, and obviously being based here in Perth, the AFL with the Dockers as my team. I've played hockey for 27 years. I first played when I was 4 years old in Rockhampton. Both my parents got me into hockey. My older brother, older sister and younger sister all played. All my friends played, and I think that's one of the greatest things I've ever been part of in hockey is the family aspect. So many mates, so many friends, and that's why I've continued to play. My biggest accomplishments in hockey so far would be the Olympic gold medal in 2004. Just an absolutely unbelievable thing to be part of, the first ever in men's hockey. That was very early in my career, and when I think back, I probably didn't realise how massive it was. Moving forward, the World Cup in 2014 was something that I really wanted so bad after the disappointment in London 2012. So they're the two biggest ones for me. My junior club hockey experience, grew up playing for South in Rockhampton. Both my parents played in the first division, men's and ladies teams. My older brother, older sister, younger sister all played for South. Dad was president for a while, Mum was president for a while, the mighty black and gold. Grew up playing, started when I was about 4 I think, and I've played ever since. Mum and Dad still involved playing, and my siblings have all moved on now. Progressing through the junior state teams, I made the Queensland primary school boys team. It was my first ever team when I was 12 years old. I remember travelling to Adelaide quite a long time ago now in 1996. Just then I slowly progressed through the ages, making the under-13 team. My first disappointment was probably missing out on the Queensland under-15s team when I was 14. Probably wasn't quite at a strength level of some of the 15-year-old guys, and when I look back now, that's one of the things that I've tried to progress through, is playing against older guys quicker. I kept progressing through, made the Queensland under-18s and 21s, and my first Australian team was then the Australian secondary school boys team. We played against New Zealand in Brisbane. That was a really great honour for me, with my parents and my uncle and auntie watching and a lot of friends. So that was a bit of my progression. Moving forward, then getting an AIS scholarship to move to Perth, national squad, and been here since. I think the couple of things that I do in my training that really provide me with success, and especially over the last couple of years where I think my game has gone to a better level, is I'm really hard on myself. I really concentrate on the basics, and I've found that over the last couple of years, especially when I've been playing my best hockey, I make less mistakes. When I get the ball on my stick, I can do other stuff. I can throw the overheads, I can hit the tommers, I can do those things. But without the ball on my stick, I struggle, and most people do. The second thing is that I am a fanatic for training hard. I love putting in extra, I love doing extra, and my feeling is that you need to train harder than you play, so when you get out onto the international field for a World Cup final or an Olympic Games, you're prepared for it. So I put myself under a lot of pressure at training, and I try and push the guys in the same direction as well. My ultimate achievement, without doubt now, is the Rio Olympic Games in 2016. I've been through some really, really strong disappointments of the Beijing Olympics, losing the semi-final, and then the London Olympics the same. And for me, moving towards the end of my career, everything's based around playing well at big tournaments. It's fantastic what we were able to achieve at the World Cup in 2014. But we're all very realistic that we did that in 2010 and then missed out in 2012. So my focus and my greatest achievement, I think, in the sport so far would be winning gold in Rio in 2016. Setting goals is really important. I think the thing that I've learnt the more I've gone on in my career is to put in different ways, different times, different ways to train. So at the start of a season, I like to train really hard, getting some kilometres in my legs, getting a really strong base level of fitness and working on my basics. I just feel that that sets me up well for the year. we play so much hockey at the moment that we have to prioritise different tournaments throughout the year, and we always have one or two of the major tournaments. And I think for me, I just try and make each team if I can, but really be at my best when my best is required, and that's playing at the majors each year. So for 2015 this year, we've got the World League semi-finals in Belgium, and then the World League finals. For next year, it's obviously the Olympics. So I set my goals a fair way out. I know how I need to progress. I know how fit I need to be. I know what touch I need to be in, and I just find it's easier for me in my mind and my body to be ready for the occasion. My biggest challenge, I think, is to just be very careful of how I lead the team at the moment. I feel like I play well, but I need to be careful of different people, how they train, how they behave, how they act, while also playing well. So one of the biggest challenges for me taking over as the captain of the Kookaburras was Rick made it very clear that people will listen to you when you're playing well, and he said that we want you playing your best hockey. So I took a lot out of the World Cup, where I was able to play well but also lead the team. I think the guy that I looked up to most was Bevan George. He was a player and a captain that you always wanted to play for, and it wasn't what he said at halftime or before the game or after the game. It was how he played every match and trained. So I've taken a lot out of Bevan. He's been a good friend but also a really good mentor for me in my leadership but also my game. So yeah, it's a challenge for me to keep pushing the guys in the right direction while also playing well myself. The training environment in Perth is fantastic. It's one of the biggest benefits we have as an Australian men's team. The centralised program, being here, training with the national coaches every day. It's very, very full on. What's being expected of us is getting more and more as the sport, I think, gets to a higher level, which we've been screaming out for a long time. So now that there's more training, we can't complain. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on the balls every day. So we don't get a day off hockey until Sundays. Add into that your gym sessions, psychology sessions, yoga, Pilates, game development, video analysis. It's really, really good thing to be part of. I've been based here in Perth since 2003, so it's a long time now. I'm very familiar with the surroundings. I'm very comfortable in how our team's progressing, and you know, this is all because of what we're able to do here on a daily basis in Perth. I think one of the things that differentiate me from other players, maybe my age or my level previously, is that I've really wanted success and I've strived hard for it. It would have been very easy, I feel, for myself to just keep playing for Australia, just hoping we win a gold medal, missing out on an Olympic gold medal in Beijing and in London. I suppose really inspired me and it pushed me on. I hated the feeling, and as hard as it was, I could have given up, but I really didn't want to, because I thought that I deserved more and our Kookaburras team deserved more. So I think for me it's the work ethic, it's the not wanting to disappoint myself and the standards I set, but also for me now, I think it's about you know, providing opportunities for my family to watch me play at an Olympic Games. One of the best things for me was having my 2.5-year-old at the World Cup, and just for him to say like, "Oh Dad, you're the world champion," and for my wife to be there and my parents is what inspires me now. So I love hockey, I love coaching, being part of the sport. I like being a role model, and I think all of those things keep you fresh and keep your mind in the game, and that's something that I've always tried to do. I think when I'm not playing at my best, I fall back on going back to the basics. I really know now, over the last period of time since Rick's been coach, he said the best players in the world are the ones who make the least amount of mistakes. When you're 24, 25, 26, and I know from experience, you absolutely think you know everything. And now as I get older, I know that that's not true. So for me, it's all about the basics. I'm very lucky now. I've moved into a different phase of my life where I also have outside influences. So my family provide me with a great backdrop and something away from hockey that I can go home and not worry so much. When I turn up to training, I'm 100% on. And when I go home from training and I'm chasing my kids around, that is a real getaway for me. So I've found it easier to concentrate being at hockey when hockey's on, and that's one of the things I think that I fall back on. Yeah, I think one of the best breakthroughs that I've been involved in our Kookaburras team over the 11, 12 years that I've been here in Perth is the total shift we made after the London Olympics. We changed a lot about our team, and we decided that psychology would play a much more significant role in our group. Psychology is not just sitting in a room talking about your feelings. It's about having critical conversations. It's about knowing more about your teammates. We did a lot of work on our culture of our group, how we wanted to be seen, how we wanted to act. And that, to me, the evidence was in the World Cup, where people are still talking about the Kookaburras, their relentlessness, their pressure, their attitude as a team, their never say die attitude. And for me to see all of the hard work after London, those very, very uncomfortable sessions where we had to talk about why we didn't perform at our best. We had to talk about our roommate and what was wrong with him. We had to talk about why we didn't do cool downs as well as we should have. And then to actually put it into play and to perform the way we did in the World Cup in 2014 and then the Commonwealth Games straight after, for me was an absolute credit to the coaching staff, but also the players who truly had to buy into that process. So that was the biggest change I've been involved in a team. Family and friends play an amazing part in my career. Obviously, the support that my parents gave me growing up, being from Rockhampton, a country town, having to drive to Townsville or go to Brisbane for training camps, having to fly me around for national junior titles and things like that. So the support from my parents was amazing. As I've gotten older now, family of my own, I'm able to get away from hockey and really get the support from them, see the love and enjoyment that my kids have, my wife have of going away, watching us be successful. But also now my parents, everybody or a lot of people know how passionate my parents are about hockey, and they certainly probably love the sport more than I do. So just for the boys to see my parents on tour, I think it gives them all a bit of a lift. To hear mum and dad yelling above 16,000 people in Holland was quite amazing, and just to see their enjoyment and the level of love they have for the game still in their 50s and 60s is what truly inspires me to keep playing, to keep improving and to be successful. The best advice I've ever been given, a few things probably for me. In a life sense, I remember my granddad, he was a great admirer of me, my family, what I was able to achieve. He always used to tell me that, remember, someone's always watching. It's a quote I love. It wasn't always about hockey for him. It was about being a role model, doing the right thing for the right reasons, and that's one of the things I've really tried to take on board playing for the Kookaburras. I need to not only play well and play for the Kookaburras, but I need to inspire the kids around the world, kids in Australia. I need to promote our sport well and be a good role model. Leading into the Kookaburras now, in my role as a leader, I have to inspire my teammates. I need to do the right things at training so they can follow suit, not just talk about it in meetings. In hockey terms, probably Barry Dancer, when he gave me a go as coach, he said, you're young, you're energetic, just use that to your best advantage. He said, we love that about you, that you're not scared, you're not worried. So that was a great boost when I came into the national team as a 19-year-old. And then when Rick took over in 2009, after the Olympics, he said, yeah, you guys are pretty good. You won gold in 2004. You probably should have won gold in 2008. You think you're good, but you can be so much better. And for me as a 27-year-old to hear that when I probably thought I knew more than I really did was a really good kick for me, and my best hockey has come later in my career, where I got over the fact of just being a player and really kicking on to a new level. So there are a few for me. The two sayings or mottos that I try and live by is one from my granddad. As I said before, it's to remember someone's always watching. So for me, that's about being a role model. That's about doing the right thing for the right reasons at the right times. That's about knowing that you're always in the spotlight and someone's always looking up to you. So that's something that I try to use on and off the field. The second one for me is have the courage to succeed. Michael Voss is one of my heroes, and before the Olympics in 2004, he signed a poster for me and he said, "Dear Mark, good luck in Athens, have the courage to succeed." I just thought it was amazing after the success of the Lions in 2001, 2 and 3 for me to go to the Olympics with that, and straight after the Olympics I got that tattooed on my ribs, so it shows that it's really means something to me. The standards that I set for myself and my teammates at training are the absolute highest standards. My feeling is that you always have to train as hard or harder than you play in a game, so you're ready for it. One of the things that probably has defined me as a player is how much effort I put into training. That's when we get on the field, that's recovery, that's in the gym, that's away when no one's watching, doing extra running, extra sprint training. I do it because I love it, but I also do it because I want to be better. And I think the guys over a period of time have seen that I really am passionate about guys doing more, being better than they really are at the moment, and that's one of the things I try and drive as a player in the Kookaburras, but also in my role in the leadership. So it's just about doing things better and better and not wasting a day. I draw my inspiration from fear of failure or past experiences. I think I'm very, very driven by times that I probably haven't played as well as I would have liked. In the World Cup final in 2006, the Olympic Games semi-finals in 2008 and 2012, where I felt that I could have done so much more and our team could have done so much more. So in some ways I'm driven a bit by what I've been through in the past. So that's one that I always am pushing myself to be better, because I don't want to feel that heartbreak anymore after the last couple of times. And probably just being the best player that I can be. One of the quotes we always say is to not always look at everyone else, you need to look at yourself. And I know that when I'm playing at my absolute best, I'm a very good player and I'm a very good leader. And I want that more. So they're where I draw my inspiration from. I play hockey because I love it. It's a family sport. I've been in it for a long time. My family is still in it. I want my kids growing up playing hockey. I want them to be in the outdoors. I've met so many people and have so many mates that I just think it's the best sport. So for me, I do it because I love it, and I'll continue to do it for as long as I can. Yeah, setbacks in my career have been hard. I suppose I've handled them a little bit differently. In 2006 and 2008, the World Cup final and the Olympic Games in Beijing, I didn't take them that well. Probably because I didn't have anything away from hockey. It took a long time. I went to Europe after the Olympic Games in 2008 and I played really poorly. I held on to the Olympic experience and heartbreak for too long. So I didn't deal that well in 2007 or 2009 with how things went the previous year. 2012 was a little bit different for me because I had a young family, had the experience of playing in the Olympics and knowing that not everything goes right. I also played a lot better in the Olympics in 2012 and I felt that our team was getting better. So I dealt with them a little bit differently. Certainly later in my career I've been able to get my mind off hockey and off the disappointments easier due to a young family, and that takes a lot of your mind away, and it's been really beneficial for me. But early on it was a lot harder when hockey was everything, absolutely everything, and I couldn't get away from it. My relationship with my teammates and coaches is something we're continually always working on. It's part of the psychology work, it's part of the mental side of the game of being a good teammate, being a good leader, being a good person. So my relationship, I think, is pretty strong. I'm a very, very strong personality. I know that. It's how I play on the field. It's how I am off the field. I think probably what it does for me is it shows the guys how keen and how persistent I really am of wanting them to do better, but also wanting more out of myself. So I'm definitely a strong personality with them. With the coaches, it's really quite a good relationship. I think they know where I stand as a player. I know what they want out of the group, and my role and my job is to link the coaches and the players better than we have before. So the boys might say I'm a little bit hard sometimes. It's not hard personally. It's setting such high standards for the Kookaburras, and for me, everything's about the team. I'm not really interested in if different people have a one-off, a day off, or a bad day. It's about the team getting better all the time, and yeah, leading into 2014, the World Cup after the 2012 Olympics, everything was about our team and everything was about getting better and being a better team, being a better person, and that's something I'll continue to work on. The non-negotiables for a team to be successful for me are strong physical capacity, so we need to run harder, we need to sprint faster, and we need to do it more often than the opposition. We've prided ourselves on that as a Kookaburras unit for decades, and certainly for me that's a non-negotiable about being strong, being fit. The second thing is stuff away from hockey. I'm a really strong believer in discipline, umpires, back chat. On field, that's really important for me to stay out of. Off field, discipline for me is about recoveries, it's about leading a healthy lifestyle, it's about doing as much as you can to be the best Kookaburra you possibly can be. I think non-negotiables for our team are about, pressure, about acting and behaving like a team. It's about our basic skills. But the big ones for me are on the field, the discipline and the desire, and off the field training and working hard. I think they're non-negotiables for everyone in our Kookaburras unit. My hockey hero growing up was Jay Stacey. I had a poster of Jay on my wall when I was 10, 11, 12, 13. I remember going to the '94 World Cup. Mum and Dad took me in Sydney and Jay was there playing. I had the poster up in our hotel room. We went to the Sydney Olympics in 2000 to watch the guys miss out there. But he was always a hero of mine, a defender, played a bit in the midfield, strong. Obviously he's the equal record games holder, which meant he had unbelievable longevity in our sport, and his ability to play time after time and tournament after tournament is something that I have looked to as I get older in my career, and I think where I'm going. I think that these guys have been able to do it for such a long period of time, and they're true greats to me. So he was my original hero. I think we need to, as a Kookaburras unit, what we need to do to win in Rio, we need to continue to improve this year. 2015 is a really, really strong building block, because one of the things I've learned is you can't just turn it on. There was so much work that we did in 2013 that led to us winning the World Cup in 2014. So for mine, it's about getting better quickly in 2015, so you can really sharpen up on the skills, not have to go through them all in 2016. To continue on with the mental side of our game, so the psychology sessions every week are about getting better and performing better under pressure, and that was one of the things that we did better than we ever have before, is we played at our absolute best when our best was required in the World Cup final, the World Cup semi-final. So for us, it's about being in rooms, talking to each other, being open, being honest, having very, very hard conversations about team selection and disappointments. It's about talking to each other and setting high standards and actually abiding by them. So I think if we do all of those things, we're very, very good. But for mine, it's about performing at our absolute best in that semi-final or in that Olympic Games, because as I found out in the last two Olympics, where they hurt me every time I talk about them, is you can play well in the round games, but if you can't do it in the big game, then you let yourself down, and it's 4 years of hard work before you get another go. For someone like me, I might not get another go, so I really don't want that to happen. Just on final thoughts from me, as I've tried to get across, I'm a real lover of hockey. I think it's a sport that is fantastic for young kids. It's about being in the outdoors. It's physically perfect. It's about getting mates. It's about growing up. The opportunities that I had when I was young to go away in state teams for Queensland, the opportunities I had to play for Australia in schoolboys in 2001 when I was 16 or 17, under 18s in New Zealand, my first trip away, to then move to Perth and be in an AIS tour and go to Europe for the first time as an 18-year-old. These opportunities that we don't get in other sports, and I always say, yeah, it's hard, there's not a lot of money and all of those things, but how many life experiences that I've had. My wife and I were able to live in Europe for 5 years, and I now play in India in the Hockey India League, and there's not many sports people in Australia who can win Olympic gold medals, win World Cup gold medals, win Commonwealth Games gold medals, but still also live and be out and about in the world and enjoy it. So I've had an amazing journey. I hope it continues. The cherry would be Rio for all of us, but particularly for me. Leading the team, but also as a player after past disappointments. So I hope this was beneficial. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you, Hockey Australia, your amazing support for the Kookaburras and Hockeyroos. Thank you.